Welcome back. Now that the Little 500 is just over 1 week away, riders have been increasing their training levels in final preparation for the race. Rachel Benson has more from the individual time trials at Bill Armstrong Stadium.
With Little 500 qualifications done, the pre-series race events started with individual time trials. Each registered rider has to complete a timed mile on the track, but first, go through some steps. Riders start off by checking in, wait at the gate to enter the track, listen to final race rules, warm up, and then they enter the track. This is where they set their pedals for a strong standing start before the gun goes off. Pi Beta Phi's rider Natalie Malone talked about her race experience.
It's a hard thing to do. Individual time trials, your legs feel like they're going to fall off, as you mine do now. But you just got to psych yourself up. It's all mental. So glad they're over.
With Little 500 week coming soon, riders are focusing on how to prepare for their big day.
We ride about an hour and a half a day doing intervals and sprints right now, just trying to focus on getting in shape for the race.
Before race day, riders will have completed quals, time trials, in the series event Missing Out with women's winner Christy Hewitt and David Richardson Rossback for the men. Next up is Saturday's event Team Pursuit, the final competition before Little 5. So come out to the track and show your Little 500 spirit. At Bill Armstrong Stadium, I'm Rachel Benson, Hoosier Sports Night.
Among many of the team's training, Alpha Phi hit the track preparing for the race. Although the team is starting 17th, their attitudes remain upbeat as they look forward to this year's race. Kate Senne has more with the roster riding Alpha Phis.
The Alpha Phi bike team consists of rookies Debbie Edwards and Kelsey Gibson. Returning for their second year are riders Molly Langto, Libby Thompson, and Stephanie Doman. After qualifying 17th, the bike team looks to improve their position by focusing on the little things and getting back to the fundamentals as race day approaches.
Getting track practice is really key in these next few weeks. It's just more along the lines of getting up, getting the pack, sticking in, and then doing a great burnout. Just that's the key. It's just working on fundamentals of the race now.
I think exchanges, I don't know, I feel like we're pretty comfortable with our exchanges, but if you leave those to the last minute, it's kind of hard to pick them back up. Like, you need to keep continuing to do those and all the little logistics of the race.
For the riders, being part of the Alpha Phi bike team is all about sisterhood and the tradition the Little 500 brings to IU. Representing their house and having the support of their sisters at the track is what makes race day one of the best experiences IU has to offer.
Although it's like a lot of pressure when you first, you get out there and you see all the people there, but having your house there, I mean, you saw at quals like how great it was, having all the girls there supporting you, and it makes everything worthwhile.
As race day nears, Alpha Phi focuses on 2 goals they have set for themselves. 1, to finish the race and stay on the lead lap. And number 2, carry with them the motto of their Rasta color jerseys, to have no worries about a thing. From Bill Armstrong Stadium, I'm Kate Senne, Hoosier Sports Night.
The Hoosier baseball team headed up to Iowa for a 3-game series over the weekend. The Hoosiers swept the Hawkeyes for the first road sweep of the season. The Hoosiers are now 16-17 overall, but are tied for first in the Big Ten at 6-2.
It has been a difficult season to say the least for the Indiana softball team. After another long losing streak, the Hoosiers look to turn their season around at Michigan State, who came in for a weekend set. The Hoosiers won their first conference game on the road Saturday as Sarah Olson pitched 7 innings and allowed only 1 unearned run. The Hoosiers had 7 hits leading to a 3-1 victory. The next day, Indiana completed the sweep with a 5-2 victory. Ashley Hobbs struck out 15 in her 8 innings of work. The Hoosiers compiled only 5 hits, but made the most of their opportunities. This was the first of 2-game sweep for the Hoosiers since April 2005.
Jeff Coover isn't the only All-American on the men's track team. The distance medley relay team, otherwise known as the DMR team, placed 7th at the NCAA Indoor Championship to become the first DMR team in school history to be called All-Americans. Here's a closer look into the team that made IU history.
Ben Huber, 1,600 meter leg. Deshaun Turner, 1,200 meter leg.
John Ganell, 400 meter leg.
Evan Bardock, 800 meter.
Coach just said, all right, we're going to run a DMR. So we just threw some guys together, and I actually wasn't the original 400 runner to run. and I kind of just got thrown in there, and Coach just said, you know, guys, go out there and do your best, represent IU. After we won the Drake, Coach was like, wow, this is a really good team. Next thing you know, we're at national championship.
It was more of a natural selection process than it was anything else. It was just time to put that group together, and they were the ones that were ready.
I was in third place, and I just had to sit there because first place was too far ahead. In the last 50, I just brought it home and put everything out on the track, and it worked real well.
It really didn't sink in until probably that night. For me, at dinner, pretty much, we were just hanging out, like talking about the race and stuff. We kind of just thought about, you know, like the history of IU track and field, and you know, we're part of that history now.
We take in all parts of the running, you know, the running community on the track. You know, like we take 400 runners all the way up to a 1600 runner, and you know, we all have different practice schedules. Deshaun and I practice the same, and then John does his own thing, and Bardock has his own thing.
And it's kind of interesting because you don't really know what everyone else is doing, but you see them racing pretty much every meet, and you know what they're capable of.
It's surprisingly easy to throw it together. We just take the best out of each category and throw it together, and I mean, we all do what we're trained to do, so we just put it on the track, and it got us All-American.
I don't want to really think like, hey, I'm an All-American, that's good enough, because that's not what's going through my head at all, so it's just kind of not even worry about it right now, and then it's something that'll probably sink in all the way when my track career is over.
Looking into the future, there's no telling where we can go. I fully expect to get All-American next year, hopefully a lot better than 7th. That was actually something that disappointed me this year, was that, you know, 7th place, it's All-American, but there's 6 places ahead of it.
Coming up next, semi-competitive banner with a special guest to discuss IU football. Stay tuned for more on Hoosier Sports Night.